Welcome to the Fast Leader Podcast, where we explore convenient yet effective shortcuts that will help you get ahead and move forward faster by becoming a better leader. And now, here's your host, customer and employee engagement expert, and certified emotional intelligence practitioner, Jim Rimbach.
Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, Fast Leader Legion. Today, I'm so excited because we have magic on the show to help you get over the hump, and it's going to be performed by Shep Hyken. Shep was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and as a kid, he did birthday party magic shows and eventually took his comedy and magic routines into nightclubs. He even managed to score a gig at the Playboy Club when he was 16 years old. I don't know how that was legal. Since Hugh Hefner wasn't retiring, Shep went on to college, and after graduating from the University of Missouri with a degree in speech communication, Shep was hired full-time at the company that he was working at while he was in school. After about 8 months later working for Mars and Marine convenience stores, the company was sold and Shep was out of a job. Searching for inspiration, he attended an event one evening that featured legendary motivational speakers Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins. He found their messages powerful and amazing, and by the end, Shep felt like he could do anything, even give a speech. Building upon his magic and comedy experience, Shep wrote a motivational speech and started selling it. He just picked up the phone and started smiling and dialing. As he researched information for speeches, he landed on the topic of customer service. It was a topic in which he strongly believed and had incorporated into all of his previous business endeavors, from the birthday party magic show business to the retail business where he worked during and after college. So the focus of Shep's business became customer service. Now, Shep Hyken is a professional speaker, best-selling author, and customer service expert, and Shep still resides in St. Louis, Missouri as an empty nester with his wife, Sydney. Shep Hyken, are you ready to help us get over the hump?
I am ready to rock and roll.
Okay, awesome. Now, I've given our Fast Leader Legion a little bit about you, but can you tell us what your current passion is so that we can get to know you better?
Sure. I mean, my whole thing and my whole world is making experiences where customers walk away from a business, and it could be a customer, client, guest, patient, anybody that does business with a company or organization. I want them to walk away and say, wow, that was a great place to do business with. And that's what I've been doing for years. But in the past several years, I have gotten more and more involved with an online learning program. I take all my content on customer service, I put it online, so it's on demand, virtual training. But here's what I'm passionate about. I just realized I've always been one to give back, and I figured out a way to give back. And this is this is special because you're the first person that basically publicly I'm sharing this with. This is brand new, exciting, and here's what we're doing. Similar to the Tom's shoe model, where is one for one. Buy a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes to people that can't afford it. Buy a pair of their glasses, they donate a pair of glasses, and they do other charitable things. For every company that buys one of my licenses, and actually most companies buy group licenses, 100, 200, 300, 500, I'm going to donate the same number to an urban school so that kids coming out of high school and college can go through this 8-hour course, get a certificate of completion, and attach that certificate to their resume when they're out looking for a job. I want to help young people be more successful, and I want to do it with my passion, and I figured out a way to marry them together.
Oh, Shep, that's awesome. And I really appreciate what you're doing for society, for our education system. That's one of the things that we've talked a lot about on previous episodes is, really building that knowledge and skill set within folks so that, one of your passions, I think you had said something to the effect of, helping change the American economy through customer service. And that's one way you're making a big impact. So thanks. And I know you are of high passion. And on the show, we really focus on several things, and one of them being leadership quotes. And you shared with me, you kind of struggled with that because you have so many quotes that really drive you. But have you been able to be able to focus on one or two that you can share with us?
Oh, man. I mean, there's so many. One of my favorites, and I don't have them exactly word for word, but there's one Vince Lombardi used to talk about that perfection is not reality. I believe he said perfection is not attainable, but upon the pursuit of perfection, you can achieve excellence. And I would love a perfect world. But I know this, if I strive to do my best along the way, I will probably do my best. And I think that's what I inspire the people around me who work with me to be that way. I talk to my kids about it. Don't beat yourself up if something goes wrong. Just do your best. And I think that's what counts. And if you chase that goal of perfection along the way, great things are going to happen.
I think that's a great point. And keeping that strength to know that your best is something that could change and develop as you, first of all, continue to make the effort in the attempt. I mean, just keep trying, just keep striving. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah. And there's another one that I'll share with you real quickly. I love Walt Disney. It's so many things about Walt Disney, and the guest experience and customer service are important. But from a leadership perspective, he had something, he called it stooping to excellence. And that's what if you want to quote it, that's it. It's stoop to excellence. And what he meant was, as he walked into the theme park, he knew that all of the cast members, the employees, that's what they called them, was cast members, would be looking at him going, wow, there's Walt Disney. And if he walked by a piece of paper and left it on the ground, he gave permission to everybody else to do that. So instead, he would stoop down, pick it up, and throw it away. And he called it stooping to excellence. And I believe he modeled what customer service was all about, what guest service was about. He modeled his leadership. And I think that's a powerful thing to do. I know that in the past, I've thought about the people that I would like to be most like, and it's because they do what it is that they talk about. They do what it is that they preach and believe in. So they are who they are. They wear it on their sleeves.
Yeah, definitely being authentic and genuine can have a huge impact with both employees and customers. And trying to be able to do that through all times, whether you prosper or whether you're struggling, that consistency in the authenticity is something that we can never, ever fail to deliver upon.
Right.
So,
it's easy when things are going well. It's when things aren't going well. That's when I think the rubber hits the road. That's when your true personality and your leadership abilities come out.
That's for sure. And so with that, we often have times where, we've had humps to get over and they kind of test our character, help build our character in those times so that we can, hopefully, as time goes on, not, fall. Is there a time for you where you've had to get over a hump and it kind of, really gave you that renewed sense of direction and that energy to continue on? Can you share that story with us?
I do have one that I'll share with you, but it's not probably what you think I would normally do. I'm a very optimistic person. I'm very upbeat. I get up in the morning and it's time to go. And my wife jokes that I'll be talking late at night. In the middle of my sentence, I'll fall asleep. I just wake up and continue where I left off. I love life. I play a lot. That's important. So bad days for me only last a day. They don't last. That's just like my philosophy. So here's what happened. I can't believe I actually did this. I became president of the National Speakers Association, the industry organization or association, for professional speakers. And I've been on the board I'm now in my 10th year, but I was just recently president. And when I took over as president, and it's a volunteer position, prior to that, our leadership team had decided we were going to change the name of the association from the National Speakers Association to something else. What we changed it to wasn't important. The way we went about it, we thought we were doing it right. And by the book, we were doing it right. By the bylaws and what our board did and the way we voted on it and approved it, it was done correctly. But by our membership, in other words, by our customers, we didn't do it right. Mm-hmm. And when we announced last year at the national meeting that we were changing the name to this name, I received within, I'm going to say 48 hours, almost 800 emails from our members. By the way, probably 750 of those 800 emails said, we hate it. We can't believe you're doing it. We're going to quit if you keep this name. We had a crisis on our hands. And this was one of the biggest challenges that I ever went through from a business standpoint. We all have life challenges, a close personal, a loved one passes away or you have a relationship issue. But in business, this was my biggest crisis I may have ever gone through. I think maybe what made it work is that I'm the customer service guy. It's not that I want everybody to be happy, is that I knew we needed to respond quickly. And I have this 5-step process for dealing with a customer complaint. Real simple. Acknowledge the problem, apologize, fix it, or discuss what the remedy is going to be. Do it with the right attitude, which is usually one of ownership and competence. And then finally, do it fast. So this was happening just really quickly. We left the meeting, and the next day, all these emails are coming in. Within 3 days, we put a video out to our membership. Hey, we hear you, and I'm sorry that you guys aren't happy. Which means, number one, I acknowledge it. Number two, I said I was sorry. And number three, here's what we're doing. We're going to have a board meeting by the end of the week, an emergency board meeting. We're pulling all of our board members from all over the country, plus past presidents who are ex officio board members. They're going to get on this board meeting, and we're going to have this. And I promise you, I will keep you informed, but I need you to do me a favor. Please stop emailing me, because I will answer all of your emails, which would prevent me from getting this good work done. And the emails came to almost a complete halt. By the end of the week, I let them know the board was officially meeting on Sunday. On Monday, I got back to them and told them exactly what was happening. We reversed the decision. We were going to create a committee of members. 90 members, by the way, stepped up and wanted to volunteer to determine whether or not we were actually going to change the name, not only to the name we proposed, but any name at all. Basically, it was crisis management managed, I think, I'm not going to say to perfection, but as good as we could have done it. We acted quick, swiftly. We made good decisions. We listened to our members. Everything seemed to work. And I think as a result of that, we not only renewed the confidence of our members, we may have renewed it to a higher level, letting them know that, hey, we admit our mistake. We listened to you. And here we are today.
That's a great story. And it's fresh and new in your mind. So I'm sure there's a whole lot of emotion associated with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, a year later, which was just a couple of weeks ago, I was on stage as the president. I had taken over at the end of the meeting, and now it was mine. And a little self-effacing humor, mention it from the stage on the first night, like probably 2 sentences. Literally, and it made people laugh. And my opening line was, "It's great to be here at Influence 2015, the premier event for professional speaker. This is the National Speakers Association annual meeting." And yes, I did say National Speakers Association, and it got a laugh, and that's the last we heard of it.
Well, I mean, good for you. I mean, that's when you were going through that moment and starting to get that backlash, what was going through your mind?
What did I sign up for? This is a volunteer position. And by the way, I didn't make the decision. A board made the decision, but I am now the face of that board and the face of our association. And I need to step up and do what's right. And I think we did. I must tell you, it wasn't all me. I have a great team to work with. The CEO, which is our executive director of the National Speakers Association, Stacy Tetchner, he's an amazing man. The staff was so supportive. The board members who were able to come together and make this decision quickly. I met with somebody briefly after this who's very well informed about these types of things happening. And he said, "Shep, you did in 10 days what most people take 10 months to do. How did you do it?" And my response was, I just knew it had to get done. And that's what we did. We just did it.
Well, I'm sure that as you were going through that and, talking about all of that emotion and getting that thing done, that there was probably, several epiphanies that you had that you could actually use as part of, really setting out a better course of direction, for your future as well as for the association. But if you were to stop and think about what advice you would give to our Fast Leader Legion from what you learned through that story, what would it be?
At that point, when this was happening, didn't realize that it was a customer service issue. I realized we were having a crisis in our management. But when I reflect back, what happened in that week, and by the way, I realized it right when it happened. I said, wow, we did exactly that 5-step process. We acknowledged it. We apologized for it happening. We discussed what we were going to do to fix it, and we did. We did it with the right attitude, ownership, and then we did it fast. We did it within 10 days. That was pretty quick. And I started to think back, wow, that's exactly what I teach my clients to do. I mean, whenever we have a customer service situation in our office, somebody didn't receive a box of books that they ordered from us. It's real easy. We can do all of these 5 things rather quickly. We acknowledge it, apologize, tell them we're going to send another box of books out right away, thank them again for their business, and we acted fast. And then we followed up to make sure that they received it this time. That's easy. But how about when you have hundreds and hundreds of people breathing down your neck, angry, threatening to leave the association that just the day or two before that they loved? Wow, that was a crisis. And I think we handled it beautifully. And we handled it in the style of managing a customer or our members' expectations.
You know, Shep, as I'm listening to you tell that story, I even started thinking about situations personally within, family and friends and, things like that and those experiences. I think we can apply those same 5 rules just to our relationships as a whole. I don't think it matters whether or not it's business.
Anytime you have a disagreement, it works in your personal and your professional life, as most good business principles do.
So when you start talking about, where you are and all the things that you're learning and the passions that you have and the work that you're doing and the give back, which is just incredible, what are some of the goals that you have for the future?
Wow, my future? So I'm a very goal-oriented guy, and I think that leaders need to be goal-oriented, and they need to share those goals with the people they work with and the people around them. By the way, I shared my business goals with my wife, so she knew and can grow with me, just as I share the business goals with their team and say from a financial standpoint. So let's go back. You mentioned that I saw a couple of motivational speakers and decided this is what I wanted to do. And one of those speakers was Zig Ziglar, who talked about goal setting. And in 1983, I set a goal, and I was 22 years old at the time, or 23 years old. I just turned 23. I set a 10-year goal from age 23 to age 32. And I hit those goals at around age 30 or so. So I did it in about 8 years, not 10. Then I set another set of 10-year goals. And those were all financial goals, by the way. I needed to make this amount of money in order to be able to build my business, in order to be able to pay for my family's education and all their well-being. All the good things. When I hit the goals at age 40, I started to move into lifestyle goals. So for me, at a certain age, and I'm still feeling young. I'm just barely, I'm barely halfway home, so to speak. I've got a long way to go. But I know this: I've worked really hard. I've saved a lot, and my goal is to continue to work hard. But I want lifestyle to be a good part of that. So surround myself with good people. Those good people are best at what they do, which allows me to be freed up to do the things that I'm best at doing, and try to focus on what I call retirement. And I learned this from Dan Sullivan, who is my coach. I go to a coach every quarter, Dan Sullivan's program called The Strategic Coach. And basically, the definition of retirement is only doing what you love. And there are parts of my business that I love doing and that I hope I can do until the last days of my life. So I don't know if that's somewhat, what's the word I'm looking for, but sappy. But that's really where I'm at right now.
Oh, Shep, I think that's awesome. And the Fast Leader Legion wishes you the very best. All right, here we go, Fast Leader Legion. It's time for the Hump Day Hoedown. Okay, Shep, the Hump Day Hoedown is the part of our show where you give us good insights fast. So I'm going to ask you several questions, and your job is to give us robust yet rapid responses that are going to help us move onward and upward faster. Shep Hyken, are you ready to hoe down?
I'm ready. Rock and roll time.
All right. So what do you think is holding you back from being an even better leader today?
This is a simple word: nothing. There's nothing holding me back. If anything holds me back, it's my own fault, and I take personal responsibility, and there's nothing in my mind right now that can hold me back. I surround myself with great people that work with me, great people that I aspire to be like, and I take in from all of it.
What is the best leadership advice you have ever received?
Wow. How about this? Don't ask people to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. I was about 15 years old. I was working at a building doing maintenance, and I was struggling to get these weeds out of the ground. I was, young, small, and these were huge weeds. And the owner of the building, or the president of the company, showed up in his fancy car, had his coat and tie on, saw me struggling, and he walked over and he told me I was doing it wrong. He took off his sport coat, he took off his tie, he got his hands dirty, and he started showing me the proper way to get these big, huge weeds out of the ground. I went, wow. I said, I can't believe you do that. And he said, I would never expect anybody to do something like this if I wouldn't be willing to do it myself.
What is one of your secrets that you believe contributes to your success?
Reading. I read daily, dozens of articles. Every week I read books. I probably read about 30 to 40 books a year.
What do you feel is one of your best resources that helps you lead in business or life?
Wow. One of my best resources. This is a good question. Best resource. I mean, once again, I think the internet is probably my best resource because I Google alert the topics I'm interested in. And every day it gives me a digest of all the places that have written articles and things that I can read and learn from.
Now, Shep is a heavy reader and also an author. Sometimes it's difficult to recommend a book or two to our Legion, but do you think you can make your way through it?
Sure, because this is about leadership. I have just finished a great book by a woman named Dina Dwyer Owens. It's called Values, Inc. And she is an amazing leader in business. And she believes that if you have the right core values and can get everybody along with you on that same journey, you're going to be successful. Values, Inc. Great book by Dina Dwyer Owens.
Okay, Fast Leader Legion, you can find links to that and other bonus information from today's show by going to fastleader.net/Shep Hyken. Shep is also offering a free download of his book, Moments of Magic, as well as a white paper on how customer service will fix the U.S. economy, and that will be available on the show notes page as well. Okay, Shep, this is my last Hump Day Hoedown question. Imagine you were given the opportunity to go back to the age of 25, and you have been given the opportunity to take the knowledge and skills that you have back with you. But you can't take everything. You can only take one thing. So what one piece of skill or knowledge would you take back with you and why?
One word, communication, the ability to communicate, the ability to speak and write. Without that, you have nothing. Speak, you talk to clients. In my business, you talk to audience. Communicate, you write to clients, and I write my articles. And I always tell my friends, if there's something I would have done sooner, I would have written my first book sooner than I did.
Shep Hyken, it was great to spend time with you today. Can you please share with the Fast Leader listeners how they can connect with you?
Sure. Just go straight to my website, Hyken, HYKEN.com. And there you'll learn all about what I do. But there's also over 350 articles that I've written, plus guest bloggers that have posted on my site. And check out my YouTube channel, which is just, youtube.com/Shep Hyken. And there's about 400 videos. I take all of my content and I make it available at no charge, and you get it in chunks and pieces so you can watch it as quickly or as long as you want to do it. So hope you enjoy.
Shep Hyken, thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. The Fast Leader Legion honors you and thanks you for helping us get over the hump. Woo-hoo! Thank you for joining me on the Fast Leader Show today. For recaps, links from every show, special offers, and access to download and subscribe, if you haven't already, head on over to fastleader.net so we can help you move onward and upward faster.